Good day to you. This is MasterHodor coming in for another Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be a 6-on-6 battle. OU, it looks like. My team is my Ferrothorn, Ampharos, Rotom Wash, Aegislash, Charizard Y, and Garchomp. And my opponent has a Talonflame, also a Ferrothorn and Rotom Wash. He also carries the Magic Bounce Espeon, Excadrill, and a Mamoswine. So looking at this team, I mean, I knew I had Stealth Rock, so the Talonflame I figured wouldn't pose a big threat. That's my thought, at least. Other than that, I noticed he had the same 2 defensive walls that I did in Ferrothorn and Rotom Wash. So I thought that would be a little interesting. I figured the Mamoswine would lead with Focus Sash, and or the Rotom. The Rotom could lead too. I usually lead with my Rotom, but I think I lead with my Ferrothorn in this video, and I think he did go for the Mamoswine. So let's go ahead and hit play and see how this goes. Alright, so yeah, he leads with his Mamoswine like I thought, and I send out my Ferrothorn. I wanted to get Stealth Rocks up. He predicted that right away and sent out his Espeon, which of course Magic Bounce the Stealth Rock straight back onto my side of the field. So that right there just kind of screwed me over for the whole battle, because I knew the Espeon was still going to be out, and I knew he had a spinner too. I figured I needed to get rid of his spinner and his Espeon before I could get my rocks up again. Fortunately for me, this Gyro Ball actually one-hit KOs the Espeon, so I know he can't put rocks back up. Unfortunately, he does still have a spinner, so I'm worried about putting my rocks out already. And he sends out his Talonflame anyway, so the rock damage wouldn't hit it right away. So I switch out, and I bring in my Aegislash, which was a stupid move. For some reason, I thought he'd go Brave Bird over Flare Blitz. That's obviously not the case, because Flare Blitz comes in and one-hit KOs my Aegislash. So that was a really bad move on my part. I really regretted doing it. I got a little bit of damage off on the Rocky Helmet, but Aegislash didn't get to do anything in this battle. And that was really disappointing for me, because it really could have helped. I sent my Ampharos to take another Flare Blitz, but he goes ahead and sends out his withdraws. So I kind of predicted the switch, so I went for Cotton Guard just to get my defense back up. He sends in his Excadrill. So I figured, okay, I know this should at least 2-hit KO me, but I figured with my defense boost, the Earthquake wouldn't one-hit KO, and I was wrong. Ampharos goes down in 1 hit to a critical. So that really sucked, because I wanted to at least get some damage off on that Excadrill with my Ampharos, thinking I could take more than 1 hit. So out goes my Garchomp, and I just go straight for the Earthquake. It does 1-hit KO this Excadrill, so now I think I can get my rocks up with my my Ferrothorn. But I stay in here, and he sends out his Mamoswine again. Now again, I made a really terrible play. I stayed in, thinking I could Earthquake it or Fire Fang it, and I actually go for the Fire Fang, because I figured I had the Focus Sash. So it didn't matter what I went for. Unfortunately, the Ice Shard takes me down to 7 HP, and it does hang on. And then my Life Orb recoil actually takes my Garchomp down with it. So far I've made 3 really stupid plays, and I've lost 3 of my best from my team to these plays. So I sent out my Ferrothorn now, thinking I can at least get my rocks up. I can take whatever he sends at me. But I play it safe and get rid of that Mamoswine anyway, to a Gyro Ball. So now my expectation is his Talonflame's going to come in. So I still don't have my rocks up, and that thing's still alive, with pretty good health. So I know he's going to Flare Blitz me, so I gotta get out of there. And I go ahead and I bring in my Rotom to take the Flare Blitz, which it does pretty well. Obviously the Tail on Flame gets some recoil damage from this move, which I was happy about. But that Rotom, it's specially defensive, not physically defensive, so that did do quite a bit of damage. I figured I'd just Hydro Pump whatever came in, and he decides now his Ferrothorn, so this Hydro Pump really doesn't do much at all. I know I can't stay in here. Volt Switch is just going to hurt me to Iron Barbs, so I have to switch out to Charizard to take the Power Whip. And I go ahead and I Mega Evolve it, and I know I'm going to take a lot of recoil damage to the Flare Blitz, but I go for it anyway, just hoping to get rid of the Ferrothorn. Unfortunately, he predicts this and switches out into his Rotom, so my Flare Blitz really doesn't do much for me at all here. It takes a decent chunk out of the Rotom, but not enough to really make me happy. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here in the narration. Sorry about that. Here comes that Flare Blitz I was just talking about. I'm already at 40 health after Stealth Rock, so it's not looking good for my Charizard. I do manage to burn the Rotom, which is nice to get the residual damage, but it also has leftovers, so it's kind of an even draw there. It's not helping, it's not hurting. So I use the Air Slash, hoping to get the flinch and see how much damage it did. It's obviously invested in defense because that did nothing. And I did get the flinch, so that was nice. So now I just go straight into Outrage, knowing I need this thing down. And so I use the Outrage because I know that's the only thing that's going to hit it and not kill myself in the process. So down goes his Rotom, but out comes Ferrothorn, and I'm still locked into Outrage, so this is gonna, the Iron Barbs are gonna take my Charizard down with it, and I barely get any damage off either. So, Charizard goes down, like I said. At this point I send in my Ferrothorn, even though it was considerably damaged already. I knew I couldn't win any Stall War here, but the difference is I have leftovers. He has Rocky Helmet, so whereas every time I attack I take a lot of damage back, every time I don't attack I manage to get some health back with my leftovers. So I decide I'm just gonna send out Leech Seeds as a stall, even though I know it won't affect the opposing Ferrothorn. I know he's not going to do any damage to me, and I know I can only gain health by stalling it out at this point. So, like I said, I'm just sending out the Leech Seeds, even though they're not doing anything, because I'm getting this leftover recovery back. He sees what's going to happen, so he takes his Ferrothorn out of there and sends in his Tail on Flame. Now, I know with the Leech Seed coming in, that with the Leech Seed damage and the recoil damage from a Flare Blitz and my Iron Barb's ability, I know this Tail on Flame is going to go down if it attacks me. So I just go ahead and stay in and let it do its kamikaze thing on me. That's at least one down, and that leaves us down to just his Ferrothorn and my Rotom. So that's a pretty bad matchup for me. I know at this point I'm in a pretty bad position, mostly because of the stupid mistakes I made earlier in the battle. So I know it's just going to come down to either luck or stall here. I really can't stall it out. I managed to get the burn off on it with the Will-O-Wisp right away, but I mean at this point my Rotom is just too far damaged, and any Power Whip coming in is going to one hit shot me. So it gets its Leech Seeds off. I have it burned, like I said. It's not looking good for me here. I'm down to 31 HP, and he's gaining HP, but the burn kind of negates that. So I go for Hydro Pump, I miss. Ferrothorn uses Power Whip, he misses. And then the Leech Seed hits again. So that just did more damage to me. I finally do manage to get a Hydro Pump to hit it here after this burn. And I was hoping to at least get a critical hit or something, but no luck. It does a decent amount of damage, but not nearly enough. And I need this one to miss, and it doesn't. The Power Whip lands. And there goes my last Pokemon. So I did lose this battle, but it was a fun battle. It was a great time. It came down to the last Pokemon on each side. Unfortunately, it came down to a bad matchup for me. I played really stupidly early in the battle, but that's not to take away from Jecht here. He did a great battle. He knows what he's doing for sure. And yeah, it was a great battle. I hope to bring more of these battles, and hopefully I'll win some of them in the coming days. Go ahead and check out my Twitter if you haven't. My website, destinyknot.com. I'll have this video up on there. That's destinyknot.com, like the item you use for breeding. And yeah, I hope to keep these coming for you guys if you like them. Thanks.